Warning to all chosen ones. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling suddenly depleted and empty, as if someone just stole a piece of your light? What if that constant unexplained fatigue you're experiencing isn't physical at all, but a sign of a direct spiritual attack on your energy? This isn't a coincidence. You were guided to this exact moment in space and time because your soul has been crying out for this transmission. There's a profound and unsettling exhaustion that has settled deep within your bones, a weariness that sleep can't touch and no doctor can diagnose. It's a spiritual fatigue, a bleeding of your life force, and you've felt it growing stronger with each passing week. You, the chosen one, the light worker, the starseed you who came to this planet with a brilliant, high-frequency light body designed to anchor love and elevate consciousness, are under attack. But this isn't an attack with weapons you can see. It's a silent, insidious siege on your spirit conducted by those who can't generate their own light. I'm talking about energy vampires, the weak, fractured souls who are drawn to your radiant essence like moths to a divine flame, and who are consciously or unconsciously draining you dry. This is a critical warning. The veil is thinning, and the energetic parasites have become more desperate and more cunning. It's time for you to understand the sacred mechanics of this warfare and finally, once and for all, learn to protect the divine power that is your birthright. Let's first talk about what you are. You aren't like the others. You arrived on this plane with a surplus of spiritual energy. Your aura isn't just a faint glow. It's a sun, a vibrant, multi-layered toroidal field of golden and crystalline light that hums at a frequency that is inherently healing to be around. This is your gift, and if left unguarded, your curse. People feel better just by standing near you. They feel seen, heard, and validated without you even speaking a word. This is because your energy field, automatically by its very nature, attempts to raise the vibration of everything and everyone in its vicinity. It's an act of pure, unconditional love, hardwired into your spiritual DNA. But here's the secret. The universe is now demanding you learn that unconditional love was never meant to be an unconditional transfer of your vital life force. The people I'm talking about, the ones who leave you feeling hollowed out and depleted, have what can only be described as a fractured energy field. Their auras are dim gray and porous, riddled with energetic holes from past traumas, unhealed wounds, and a deep soul-level refusal to take responsibility for their own inner state. They're spiritual black holes, miniature entities of lack. They don't know how to generate their own light, their own validation, their own joy, so they've learned to siphon it from others. And you, chosen one, are their primary target. You're the five-star restaurant in a world of spiritual famine. The process is subtle. A silent transaction happening just beneath the veil of normal conversation. It begins with their neediness. They come to you with their endless problems, not for solutions, but for a place to dump their low vibrational sludge. They complain, incessantly trapping you in cycles of negativity. They trauma dump, hijacking your sacred empathetic heart and forcing you to hold their pain until you begin to mistake it for your own. They flatter you, telling you that you're the only one who understands, the only one who can help, making you feel special and indispensable, which is a clever trap for the ego. Each time you engage, each time you listen, each time you offer your precious energy without a sacred boundary, an etheric cord is formed. Imagine a tiny dark tendril extending from their solar plexus and hooking directly into yours. With every interaction, that cord becomes thicker, stronger. Through this cord, they pull your vitality, your creativity, your optimism, and your peace. They feed on it, and for a short time, they feel better. They feel a temporary surge, a flicker of light in their darkness. But you are left feeling inexplicably drained, irritable, anxious, and clouded. You may feel a strange pull in your gut, a sense of obligation or guilt when you think of them. That's the cord tugging at you, demanding its next meal. This isn't a metaphor. This is the literal mechanics of psychic vampirism. You've been programmed to believe that saying no is selfish, that setting a boundary is unkind. This is one of the greatest lies perpetrated by the shadow forces on this planet to keep the light workers disarmed and depleted. Your empathy has been weaponized against you. You see their pain and your divine programming screams. Heal them, fix them, save them. But you aren't here to be a lifeboat for those who refuse to swim. You're here to be a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't jump into the stormy seas to rescue sinking ships. A lighthouse stands firm on its rock, anchored in its own power, and shines its light so that others may find their own way to shore. By constantly giving your energy away to those who won't use it to heal themselves, you're dimming your own light and you're robbing them of the crucial soul lesson of learning to generate their own. You're enabling their spiritual weakness. Your greatest act of service, your most profound act of love, both for yourself and for them, is to say, "No, I can't listen to this negativity right now. No, I don't have the energetic capacity to hold your pain for you. No, I won't sacrifice my peace to manage your chaos." That no is a sacred sword of light. The moment you speak it with conviction, you sever the etheric cord and you reclaim your power instantly. The rush of energy returning to your system is palpable. It's a shockwave that reboots your entire spiritual matrix. This is the key. Your refusal isn't a rejection, it's a realignment. It's a declaration to the universe that you understand your mission, that your energy is a divine resource, not a public utility. If you feel this truth resonating in the very core of your being, if you felt that inexplicable drain and known on some deep level that your light was being stolen from you, I want you to pause and go to the comments right now. I want you to declare this to the cosmos, to your guides, and to your higher self. Type, "I reclaim my power," in the comments below. Let this be an anchor point, a digital ritual that marks the beginning of your liberation. Type, "I reclaim my power," and feel the shift as you do it. Now let's talk about the signs, the red flags your spiritual body has been screaming at you. These aren't psychological quirks, they're diagnostic symptoms of a compromised energy field. It begins with the body. Do you suffer from chronic fatigue that no amount of rest can cure? Do you wake up feeling more tired than when you went to bed? This is a primary indicator that your energy is being siphoned while you sleep, especially if you dream of the person who is draining you. Do you get sudden piercing headaches during or after a conversation with a specific individual? That's your crown and third eye chakras being overwhelmed by their chaotic low-frequency energy. Do you experience digestive issues or knots in your stomach or a feeling of nausea around certain people? That's your solar plexus, your center of personal power, being violated and drained. You might even feel a sudden chill, a drop in body temperature as your life force is literally pulled from your physical vessel. These aren't imagined. Your body is an instrument of divine perception, and it's telling you in no uncertain terms that you're under psychic attack. The emotional symptoms are just as devastating. You'll find yourself feeling irritable, angry, and resentful for no apparent reason. This is often the energy of the vampire that has leached onto you. You're feeling their unprocessed rage and frustration. You might be a joyful, optimistic person by nature, but you suddenly find yourself plunged into inexplicable waves of sadness, anxiety, or even despair. Again, you're absorbing their emotional debris. The most dangerous symptom, however, is the loss of passion. The things that once lit you up, your art, your music, your spiritual practice, your connection to nature, suddenly feel dull and lifeless. The color drains from your world. This is because your creative energy, your divine spark, is the tastiest meal for an energy vampire. They're stealing the very essence that makes you who you are, leaving you a hollowed-out shell of your former self. You feel disconnected, uninspired, and lost. This is a state of spiritual emergency. It's the universe sending you its most urgent alarm bell. Your energy field has been breached, and your mission is in jeopardy. If you can't hold your own light, you can't shine it for the world. And why are you the target? Why you specifically? It's because of the purity and intensity of your light. You're a beacon in a world that is still shrouded in much shadow. Those who are lost in pain and spiritually adrift are drawn to you instinctively. Most of them don't even know what they're doing. Their inner void creates a powerful suction, and your overflowing wellspring of energy is the closest source to fill it. They're acting out of a deep, primal, spiritual survival instinct. But then there are the others, the more conscious manipulators. These are the narcissists, the sociopaths, the souls who have willingly chosen the path of service to self. They know exactly what they're doing. They see your empathy, your kindness, and your desire to help not as virtues, but as weaknesses to be exploited. They study you. They learn how to push your buttons, how to trigger your guilt, and how to make you feel responsible for their happiness. They're master predators in the energetic realms. They'll mirror you, making you believe you've found a soulmate, only to reveal their true nature once the cords are firmly attached. They'll isolate you from your friends and family, making themselves your sole source of validation. The end goal is always the same: to drain your light, co-opt your power, and dim your connection to the divine, so that you're easier to control. Recognizing this pattern isn't about judgment, it's about discernment. It's about honoring your sacred duty to protect the powerful and precious gift of light that you've been entrusted with. This isn't a game. This is the great work. And your first lesson, the foundational initiation for every chosen one on this planet, is to master the art of the sacred no. It's the first step in reclaiming your sovereignty and stepping fully into the power you were born to wield. The sacred no is more than a word. It's a vibrational decree. It's a sonic frequency that emanates from your soul's core, a declaration of sovereignty that ripples through the quantum field and restructures the very fabric of your reality. But for so many of you, this decree feels lodged in your throat, blocked by lifetimes of programming that have taught you that your value is derived from your servitude. You've been trained to be the perpetual giver, the emotional caretaker, the one who smooths over every conflict and absorbs every ounce of pain in the room. This conditioning runs deep, It's a benevolent virus planted in the consciousness of lightworkers to keep you tethered, drained, and playing small. When you attempt to say no, a wave of guilt, shame, and fear washes over you. You worry. They'll think I'm selfish, they'll be angry with me, they'll abandon me. And the energy vampire, the weak soul, knows this. They depend on your fear of their reaction. They've built their entire survival strategy around your predictable, empathetic response. But what you must understand at the most profound level of your being is that a no that comes from a place of self-honor is the highest form of love there is. It's a divine act. When you say no to a dynamic that's draining you, you're simultaneously saying yes to yourself, yes to your mission, yes to your connection with the source, and yes to the divine light that you came here to anchor. Your energy is the most precious currency you possess. It's the fuel for your spiritual work. To give it away recklessly isn't an act of kindness. It's an act of cosmic irresponsibility. To truly wield the sword of no, you must first be able to identify your opponent with crystal clarity. The energy vampire isn't a single entity. They wear many masks and employ a variety of subtle strategies to hook into your field. Let's illuminate these archetypes so that you may never be deceived again. First, there's the most common and perhaps the most insidious, the victim vampire. This is the soul who lives in a perpetual state of poor me. Their life is a never-ending soap opera of tragedy, injustice, and misfortune. They approach you not for advice, but for an energetic dumping ground. They sigh heavily and speak in a low, melancholic tone as they tell you their story of woe, and your empathetic heart will ache for them. You'll pour your light, your compassion, your energy into their bottomless pit of despair. But you'll notice nothing ever changes. They reject every solution you offer with a yes but, because they aren't invested in healing. They're addicted to the sympathy they receive, which is a low-frequency substitute for true love and power. Being around them feels heavy, like walking through thick mud. After they leave, you feel a profound sense of exhaustion and a lingering sadness that isn't your own. You've been drained by the gravitational pull of their self-pity. Then we have the more aggressive and overt drainer, the narcissist vampire. This is the controller, the interrogator, the critic. Their entire reality is built around their fragile ego, and they need a constant supply of energy, what's often called narcissistic supply, to keep it inflated. They'll dominate every conversation, turning the topic back to themselves, their accomplishments, their opinions. They have no genuine interest in you or your life, except as it reflects back upon them. They'll subtly belittle your achievements to make themselves feel superior. They'll question your decisions, planting seeds of doubt to undermine your confidence and keep you reliant on their approval. This type of vampire drains you through your solar plexus, the seat of your personal power and self-worth. They attack your confidence because a confident chosen one is a sovereign being they can't control. You'll leave interactions with them feeling small, insecure, and questioning your own sanity. They create a vortex of drama and intensity, and your emotional reaction is their 5-course meal. They feed on your anger, your frustration, and your confusion. They're the puppet masters, and they drain you by pulling on your emotional strings until you're too exhausted to see the manipulation for what it is. We must also speak of the drama vampire. This individual is addicted to chaos. If there's no crisis, they'll create one. They thrive on adrenaline and intensity, and they're masters at roping you into their theatrical productions. They'll call you in a panic, speaking in rushed, breathless tones about the latest catastrophe. They gossip. They stir up trouble. They pit people against each other, and they sit back and feast on the resulting emotional fallout. Your peace is poison to them. Your calm, stable energy field is a direct threat to their chaotic existence, so they'll do everything they can to disrupt it. They'll provoke you, push your buttons, and try to incite a reaction. Your gasp, your shock, your anger, this is the energy they consume. They're emotional arsonists, and they're drawn to your light because it's the biggest, brightest thing to burn. You'll feel agitated and on edge in their presence, your nervous system hijacked by their manufactured urgency. After they're gone, it'll take you hours, sometimes days, to return to your natural state of equilibrium. You've been pulled from your center and drained by the whirlwind of their perpetual storm. Finally, and perhaps the most difficult to contend with, is the innocent vampire. This can be a beloved family member, a longtime friend, or even a spouse. They don't mean you harm, and they may not be conscious of what they're doing. They're simply so mired in their own fear, anxiety, negativity, or physical ailment that their very presence lowers your vibration. They complain constantly about the state of the world, about their health, about their finances. They live in a state of lack and fear, and because you love them, you open your heart and your field to them completely. You sit and listen for hours, absorbing their dense, heavy energy out of a sense of duty or love. You want to help them, to uplift them, but their energetic signature is so strong that they instead pull you down into their frequency. This is the most painful drain of all because it's wrapped in the guise of love and obligation. If you've recognized one or more of these archetypes in your life, if a face or a name has flashed in your mind's eye as I've been speaking, know that this is your spirit guide confirming the truth of this transmission. This awareness is the first and most critical step. I want you to anchor this newfound clarity. Go to the comments right now and type, "I see clearly now." Declare that the veil of illusion has been lifted from your eyes. Affirm that you'll no longer be a willing participant in these draining dynamics. Type, "I see clearly now," and feel your third eye activate with this powerful decree. Now that you can see, we must arm you. The protection of your energy field isn't a passive wish. It's an active, daily, spiritual practice. It's a non-negotiable act of self-love and mission alignment. The first and most fundamental tool is the visualization of your energetic shield. This isn't child's play. This is quantum physics. Your focused intention is the most powerful force in the universe. So every morning before you even look at your phone or engage with the outside world, I want you to perform this activation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. With each breath, imagine you're pulling pure golden white light from the great central sun down through the top of your head, your crown chakra. Feel this light fill every cell of your body, pushing out any stagnant or foreign energy. Now visualize this light expanding outwards from your heart center, forming a perfect, multi-dimensional sphere around your entire body. This isn't a flimsy soap bubble. See it as a shield of crystalline mirrored light. The outside is like a flawless mirror, so that any negative draining or intrusive energy that is sent your way, be it conscious or unconscious, is instantly reflected back to its source, transmuted into love, and returned to the sender for their own healing. The inside of this bubble is semi-permeable, allowing your own love and light to flow outwards, but only that which you consciously choose to send. See this shield, feel it, and know that it's real and that it's impenetrable. Set the intention. Only energies of the highest divine love and light may enter my field today. My energy is sovereign. My power is my own, and so it is. This shield is your first line of defense. But what about the cords that have already been attached from past interactions? These must be severed daily. The most powerful ally you have in this work is Archangel Michael, the great protector and defender of the light. His energy is that of the divine, masculine, unwavering strength and absolute truth. Before you go to sleep each night, call upon him. You can say it out loud or in your mind, Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. I ask that you use your sword of blue flame light to cut and dissolve any and all etheric cords that aren't of the highest divine love and light, which are draining my life force and connecting me to people, places, or situations that no longer serve my highest good. As you say this, visualize a magnificent towering angel of brilliant cobalt blue light standing before you. See him wield a sword made of pure living flame. Surrender completely and watch as he moves around your energy body, slicing through every dark tendril, every parasitic attachment. You may feel a tingling sensation, a sudden feeling of lightness, or a wave of emotion as these cords are severed. See them instantly dissolve into light, their power over you gone forever. Thank him for his assistance. This simple 2-minute ritual is one of the most powerful acts of spiritual hygiene you can perform. It ensures you go into your dream state clear and sovereign, preventing further siphoning while you're unconscious and allowing your spiritual body to truly rest, recharge, and receive divine guidance. This isn't just about blocking others out. It's about creating a sacred, consecrated space within your own being where your soul can flourish, safe and undisturbed. This is your responsibility. This is your power, and the time to claim it is now. We've identified the enemy, and we've armed you with the foundational tools of shielding and cord cutting. These are your daily spiritual armor. But now we must go deeper. We must move from a purely defensive posture to one of divine, proactive sovereignty. This is about more than just deflecting attacks. It's about restructuring your energy field from the inside out, so that it becomes inherently inhospitable to parasitic energies. A chosen one who has fully claimed their power doesn't need to constantly fight off vampires, because vampires can't survive in their high-frequency presence. Their light is so bright, so coherent, so radically self-sourced, that it literally repels and dissolves low-vibrational attachments on contact. This is the state of being you're moving toward. This is your divine inheritance. The journey there requires a radical and unflinching commitment to what I call energetic integrity. This means becoming a fierce, conscious gatekeeper of your own sacred temple, which is your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every person you allow into your inner circle, and every piece of content you consume must be evaluated through a single lens. Does this elevate my frequency, or does it diminish it? Let's begin with the gateway of your mind. Your thoughts aren't passive private events. Each thought is a living, breathing, vibrational frequency that you hears the translated and rewritten version of the text adhering to all the specified constraints, broadcast that energy out into the vastness of the universe, while at the same time letting it saturate your own personal energy field. One of the craftiest tricks an energy vampire uses is getting you to do all the heavy lifting for them. They do this by planting their own low-vibration thoughts right into your mind. You've had an encounter with a victim vampire, and then you find yourself stuck, replaying their depressing stories in your head for hours on end. You're feeling their despair just as if it were your own. After a run-in with a narcissist vampire, you might end up spending the whole rest of the day obsessing over every little criticism they made. Your mind is caught in this endless loop of self-doubt and trying to justify yourself. It's basically psychic malware. They've installed their nasty programming into your mental hard drive, and now it's just sucking your energy dry from the inside out. Mindfulness, that radical presence, is your antivirus software in this situation. You've got to train yourself to become the silent watcher of your own thoughts. The instant you notice a negative, draining thought pattern starting up, you've got to catch it right then and there. You have to recognize that it's not times you asterisk. It's some foreign entity trying to take hold. And then, with all the authority that your higher self can muster, you need to declare, "This is not my energy. I don't consent to this frequency. I release this thought form right now." And then consciously and deliberately, you need to replace it. Deliberately shift your focus over to gratitude. Think of 3 things right this instant that you are genuinely grateful for. Really feel that emotion of gratitude welling up in your heart. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies we have access to. It is completely impossible to be in a state of gratitude and a state of low vibration drain at the exact same time. The frequencies are totally incompatible. By actively choosing gratitude, you are actively flushing out those parasitic thought forms from your system and recalibrating your mental state to a vibration of abundance and divine connection. Next up, we need to talk about the sheer power of your words. Your voice is a tool, a creative instrument of immense power. The words that you speak are like incantations. They literally shape your reality. One of the main ways that chosen ones end up leaking their power is by getting caught up in low vibration speech. This includes gossiping, complaining, and just generally speaking badly about other people. When you gossip, you are willingly tuning your own sacred voice to the frequency of someone else's drama and their lack of abundance. You are creating energetic connections to that whole situation and allowing all of that chaotic energy to just flow right through you. Complaining is basically a prayer for more of what you don't want. When you're constantly talking about your problems, your exhaustion, your frustrations, you are reinforcing those exact same energies in your own field, which makes you a much more resonant match for those energy vampires who are just feeding off that frequency. You've got to put your words on a sacred diet. Before you speak, really stop and ask yourself, are these words coming from a place of love, truth, and empowerment? Are they going to raise the vibration of the person I'm speaking to? And just as importantly, are they going to raise my own? This doesn't mean that you have to engage in toxic positivity or deny your own feelings. It's all about discernment. There's a huge difference between authentically expressing a real challenge to a trusted friend in the spirit of healing and growth, and just indulging in that repetitive, draining cycle of complaining purely for the sake of getting attention. Make a conscious vow to use your voice to speak life, to speak blessings, to speak your desired reality right into existence. When someone tries to drag you into a gossip session or a complaint fest, you always have the power to gracefully redirect the conversation. You can say something like, "That sounds like a really challenging situation. Hey, what's something that's going times? Well, times for you right now." You will honestly be amazed at just how quickly this super simple shift repels the people who are addicted to negativity. They'll find you boring, and that, my friend, is a profound victory. If this concept of sacred speech really resonates with you, if you are truly ready to commit to using your voice as a tool for creation rather than just a vessel for draining energies, then I invite you right now to make another declaration. Go down to the comments and type, "My words create worlds." Really feel the power in that statement. Own the reality that your voice is basically a magic wand that's capable of weaving realities of light and abundance. Type "My words create worlds" as a solemn promise to yourself to only speak that which empowers and uplifts. Now let's turn our attention to the physical realm and talk about the concept of sacred space. Your home really should be your sanctuary, your energetic recharging station. And yet for so many of you, your home has become contaminated by the energetic residue left behind by the vampires in your life. Every single time a person enters your space, they are leaving an energetic imprint behind. A negative, draining person can leave behind this thick, sticky residue of low-vibration energy that lingers long after they've gone, subtly draining the very life force from the environment and from you. You might feel it as just a general sense of heaviness in the air, a feeling of being watched, or just a simple inability to truly relax in your own home. You have to regularly and ritually cleanse your space. This is completely non-negotiable spiritual hygiene. The simplest and one of the most effective methods is smudging with sacred plants such as white sage, Palo Santo, or cedar. As you light the sage, set a very clear intention. I cleanse this space of all energies that are not of the highest divine love and light. All parasitic attachments, all negative thought forms, all heavy emotional residue are now cleared, cleansed, and transmuted into light. This is my sacred space, a temple of light and peace. Walk through every single room, paying extra special attention to the corners where energy can often stagnate, and use a feather or simply your hand to waft the smoke into every nook and cranny. As you're doing this, keep your windows open so that all of that negative energy actually has a path to exit. Sound can also be an incredibly powerful cleanser. Using a singing bowl times tinctures times, or even just playing high-frequency music like times solfeggio times frequencies can break up that dense, stagnant energy and restore harmony to your environment. Creating a sacred, high-vibration home makes it a really uncomfortable place for low-vibration people to be. They will start feeling agitated, antsy, and they'll just want to leave as quickly as possible, often without even knowing exactly why. You are essentially turning your home into a fortress of light that naturally repels the forces of drain. Beyond just cleansing, you have to become a fierce guardian of who you even allow to cross your threshold. Not everyone has earned the right to enter your sacred space. An invitation into your home is basically an invitation into your energy field. Before you invite someone over, pause for a moment and really check in with your body. How does the very thought of this person being in your home make you feel? Do you feel expansive, light, and joyful, or do you feel this sense of contraction, dread, or just plain obligation in your gut? Your body always knows. Your intuition is your own personal divine guidance system. Trust its wisdom above absolutely everything else. Learning to simply say, "I'd absolutely love to see you, but my home is really my quiet sanctuary right now. Maybe we could meet for coffee," instead is a tremendously powerful act of boundary setting. You are not actually rejecting the person. You are protecting your sacred space. This practice of conscious gatekeeping also extends to all of your digital spaces as well. Your social media feed, your email inbox, the news that you consume, these are all portals through which energy can enter your personal field. Unfollow all the accounts that thrive on drama, outrage, and fear. Mute that friend who uses their entire platform as a public diary for their endless victimhood narrative. Be ruthless in curating your digital environment so that it's a true source of inspiration, upliftment, and high-vibration information. Every single time you consciously choose to disengage from digital negativity, you are reclaiming a piece of your own power and closing off yet another door through which energy vampires can try to access you. This is exactly how you build an impenetrable fortress of light, not just around your body, but all around your entire life. It is a moment-by-moment practice of deliberately choosing the light, choosing your own peace, and choosing your own mission above absolutely everything else. You have now begun to build your fortress. You have learned how to cleanse your sacred space, to curate your digital life, and to wield your words as powerful instruments of creation. You are well on your way to becoming a conscious gatekeeper of your reality, and yet there will still be moments when, despite all of your best efforts, you still feel a breach. A particular person, a specific comment, still manages to somehow get under your skin, to find that crack in your armor and drain your precious life force. You might be wondering why I did the shielding. I cleansed my home. So why do I still feel this pull of guilt? Why does their disapproval still sting so much? This, my chosen one, is where we really have to get to the very heart of the matter. The most formidable fortress in the world can be brought down not by some army storming the walls from the outside, but by a traitor who is living within. We must now turn our gaze inward and confront all those parts of ourselves that are unconsciously in allegiance with the energy vampire. This is the true shadow work of the empath, the true healing of the wounded healer. Because the honest truth is that an energy vampire can only plug into a socket that you are already providing for them. It is time to find all of those sockets and seal them up forever. This work is not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen ones who are ready to truly change their reality. This inner traitor is not some malicious entity. It is simply your own unhealed pain. It is a collection of deeply embedded energetic wounds and false beliefs that you've been carrying perhaps for lifetimes about your own worth and your true purpose. These wounds act like resonant frequencies. When an energy vampire broadcasts their frequency of lack of victimhood, of neediness, it pings against these unhealed parts of you, and a connection is instantly and automatically established. The most common and potent of these is the savior wound. As a chosen one, you are hardwired to help, to heal, to serve. This is a divinely inspired and absolutely beautiful impulse. But the shadow side of this impulse is the deeply ingrained belief that your own worth is somehow conditional upon your ability to rescue other people. You feel this compulsive need to fix broken people, believing that if you can just pour enough of your own light, your own love, your own energy into them, you can somehow heal all of their darkness. The energy vampire can sense this wound from a mile away. They present their brokenness to you like it's some kind of sacred offering, knowing that it's the one thing that you simply cannot resist. And then, in your desperate attempt to save them, you end up sacrificing yourself, bleeding your own energy into a void that can never actually be filled, because the only person who can truly save them is themselves. Healing this wound requires a radical redefinition of what helping actually means. You must truly understand that true help is not actually doing the work for them. It is about holding the light so that times can see exactly how to do the work for themselves. Your greatest service is to be a model of true sovereignty, not just a doormat of servitude. Closely tied to all of this is the unworthiness wound. This is that deep, often subconscious belief that you are not inherently worthy of love, peace, and abundance. You believe on some level that you have to earn it through constant giving and constant self-sacrifice. And then when you try to set a boundary, this wound whispers insidious little lies into your ear like, "Who are you to have peace when they are suffering? Who are you to say, no? You're being selfish." A truly spiritual person would give absolutely everything. This is the frequency of martyrdom, and it is a complete feast for the energy vampire. They will expertly manipulate this wound using your own sense of spiritual duty right against you. They will make you feel like your refusal to be drained is some kind of moral failing. You must anchor yourself into the unshakable, non-negotiable truth of your own divinity. Your worth is not earned. It is innate. It was bestowed upon you by the Source at the very moment of your creation. Your peace is not a luxury. It is a prerequisite for your mission. You are worthy of a full cup, not because of what you do, but simply because of who you are asterisk. Meditate on this truth. Write it down. Speak it aloud. My peace is my purpose. I am worthy of my own energy. Repeat it until it sinks from your mind right down into the very marrow of your bones, completely overwriting all that false programming of unworthiness. And then, of course, there's the fear of conflict wound. Many lightworkers are profoundly gentle souls. You are harmonizers by nature. The very frequency of anger, of conflict, of confrontation is deeply unsettling to your finely tuned nervous system. You would much rather sacrifice your own needs, your own energy, your own truth, than have someone be angry with you. The energy vampire knows this, and they exploit it relentlessly. They know that if they push back, if they create just a little bit of drama, if they act offended or hurt, you will likely capitulate and give them exactly what they want, just to restore the peace. But the peace that you're restoring is false. It is simply the silence of subjugation, not the beautiful harmony of authentic connection. Healing this wound means making friends with discomfort. It means learning that another person's emotional reaction is not your responsibility. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing for them to be angry. You must love your own inner peace far more than you fear their outer chaos. The very moment you stand in your truth and say no, and you hold your ground even when they react negatively, you are rewiring your entire energetic and neurological system. You are teaching yourself on a cellular level that you can survive their disapproval, and in doing so, you become absolutely untouchable. If you have truly felt the sting of these wounds within your own being, if you recognize these patterns of self-sacrifice and the fear of setting boundaries, then this is a moment of profound awakening for you. This is truly the key to your ultimate freedom. I want you to honor this realization with a sacred act. Go down to the comments and declare, "I heal myself first." This is not a selfish statement at all. It is the most spiritually responsible declaration that you can possibly make. It is an acknowledgement that you cannot pour from an empty vessel and that your primary responsibility is to the divine light that you carry within you. Type, "I heal myself first," and really feel the compassionate energy of your own higher self, flooding your being, giving you permission to finally attend to your own sacred wounds. To aid you in this deep inner healing, you must cultivate the practice of what I call somatic sovereignty. This is the art of truly listening to the primal, infallible wisdom of your own body. Your body is a divine instrument of perception. It simply cannot be lied to, and it will never lie to you. It is your built-in early warning system for energetic drain. You have to learn to listen to its subtle whispers before they transform into desperate screams. Before you even answer a phone call from a person who you know is draining, pause for a moment, close your eyes and scan your body. What do you feel? Is there a tightening in your chest, a clenching in your gut, a sense of dread that makes your shoulders just slump? That is your body saying no. That is your soul speaking directly to you through the language of sensation. During a conversation, if you suddenly feel a chill, a wave of fatigue, or a subtle pressure right behind your eyes, that is your body telling you that a drain is actively in progress. Your mind might try to rationalize it away, but your body knows the energetic truth. The real practice is to honor the body's wisdom above all of the mind's programming. When your body says no, you absolutely must learn to obey. This might mean cutting the conversation short. "It was so good to hear from you, but I really have to run now." It might mean not even picking up the phone at all and just sending a text later when you're feeling a bit more resourced. Somatic sovereignty is all about trusting that the intelligence that is within your cells is far older and wiser than all of the social conditioning that is in your brain. Finally, you must consecrate the practice of sacred solitude for the chosen one. Solitude is absolutely not loneliness. It is a vital and non-negotiable spiritual nutrient. It is that sacred space where you can finally hear your own energy. In the constant presence of other people, your empathetic field is always busy processing their thoughts, their emotions, their needs. It's like trying to hear a beautiful, subtle melody in the middle of a noisy construction site. You must regularly and deliberately retreat from the noise. This is your time to disconnect from the collective and reconnect directly with the source. In solitude, you can perform your energetic hygiene. You can scan your field and really feel for any residual energies that are not your own. You can journal to untangle your own feelings from all those feelings that you've absorbed from other people. You can sit in silence and allow your guides and your higher self to speak directly to you without any interruption. This sacred time alone is when you integrate your healing, recharge your spiritual batteries, and receive clear guidance on your true mission. Protect your solitude as fiercely as a dragon guards its gold, because it is in that quiet, sacred space that you remember the absolute truth of who you are. Not a victim to be drained, but a sovereign being of immense light and power. This deep internal work is the very foundation upon which an unshakable fortress of light is built. It ensures that when you step out into the world, you are not just shielded, but absolutely whole. We have journeyed far together. We have illuminated the shadows, identified the archetypes of the drainers, and armed you with all of the sacred tools of shielding, cord cutting, and energetic integrity. You now truly understand that protecting your own power is not a selfish act at all, but a sacred duty. But now we arrive at the final initiation, the capstone of this entire teaching. It is the advanced art of transmutation. This is the truly advanced practice, the spiritual black belt move of the fully empowered chosen one. It is the ability to not just repel or block negative energy, but to actually alchemize it, to transform it into something truly amazing. It is the ability to stand in the presence of a draining individual, to feel their low-frequency broadcast aimed directly at you, and to use your own powerful, heart-centered field to transform that energy right on the spot, using it as fuel for your own spiritual growth and for the upliftment of the entire collective. This is the ultimate power to be a walking, talking vortex of divine alchemy, so sovereign in your own light that the darkness of other people serves only to make you shine even brighter. This is not a state that you can force. It is a state that you must gradually grow into. It is the natural result of diligently practicing everything that we've already discussed. The engine of this transmutation is, of course, the heart chakra, the times Anahata asterisk. Your heart center is not just a simple pump for blood. It is a quantum generator, an interdimensional portal that is capable of broadcasting a coherent electromagnetic field that is thousands of times more powerful than that of the brain. The frequency of this field is determined entirely by your emotional state. When you are in a state of fear, anger, guilt, or shame, all of those very emotions that the energy vampire is so desperately trying to trigger in you, your heart field becomes chaotic, incoherent, and weak. It becomes extremely vulnerable to penetration. But when you are in a state of authentic, unconditional love, compassion, gratitude, or pure joy, your heart generates a powerful, harmonious, and highly coherent toroidal field. This field is your ultimate shield and your most potent transmutational tool. It is essentially a force field of pure, high-frequency light that nothing of a lower vibration can possibly penetrate. The key, then, is to learn exactly how to consciously activate and sustain this coherent heart state, especially when you are under psychic attack. Imagine this scenario. You are cornered at a family gathering by the quintessential victim vampire. They begin their non-stop monologue of misery, their endless litany of complaints. The old you would have just stood there absorbing it all, your energy levels plummeting with each and every pathetic sigh. But the new you, the alchemist, does something radically different. As they speak, you don't even engage with the content of their words. Instead, you bring your full awareness to your own body. You anchor yourself firmly in the present moment. You feel your feet firmly planted on the ground, drawing stable, loving energy up from the earth. You take a slow, silent breath and bring all of your attention directly to the center of your chest, to your heart space. You call to mind something or someone that fills you with a profound and genuine sense of love and gratitude. It could be a beloved pet, a beautiful memory of being out in nature, or the face of a child. It has to be real. Feel the warmth of that loving emotion begin to glow in your chest. Now consciously breathe into that warmth, fanning the flame. With each inhale, you draw more divine light into your heart. With each exhale, you radiate that coherent, loving frequency outwards, expanding it until it completely fills your entire auric field. From within this powerful, self-generated field of heart coherence, you now look at the person who is standing right before you, but you don't even see them as a vampire anymore. You see them through the eyes of the source. You see a wounded soul, a fractured being who is trapped in a painful loop of their own creation. You see their inner child crying out for the love and validation that they simply don't know how to give themselves. And from your overflowing heart, you send them a silent wave of pure, impersonal, unconditional love. This is not the codependent, sacrificial love of the empath who gives their own life force away. This is the detached, sovereign compassion of a true master. You are not giving them your own energy. You are holding such a high frequency of love that you are simply reminding their soul of its own divine nature. You are not trying to fix them, save them, or even change them in any way. You are simply holding your light unwavering. The effect of this is astonishing. The low-frequency energy that they are broadcasting hits your coherent heart field and is instantly neutralized, or even better, transmuted. It's like throwing a bucket of dirty water into a blazing furnace. It is instantly vaporized into steam. The vampire will become deeply uncomfortable. Your complete lack of emotional reaction, your serene and unshakable peace offers them absolutely nothing to hook into. Their cords of attachment can find no purchase on your smooth, crystalline shield of love. They will either unconsciously feel their own vibration beginning to lift in your presence, causing them to feel exposed and vulnerable, or they will just become agitated and instinctively move away to find an easier target. You have won the energetic battle without ever even lifting a sword. You have conquered through the sheer power of your own radiant, self-sourced love. This is the work. This is the path of the true spiritual master to meet every single ounce of darkness, not with resistance, but with an even greater and more integrated light. It is to understand that those people who seek to drain you are actually your greatest teachers. They are the grit in the oyster that forces you to create the pearl of your own true sovereignty. They are the universe's own personal trainers sent to test the strength of your boundaries and the coherence of your heart. When you can stand directly in the face of the most draining energy and not lose even one iota of your own peace, you have truly graduated. You have passed the initiation. You are no longer a victim of energy vampires. You have actually become a beacon of transformation. This level of mastery requires practice. It requires you to stop seeing yourself as just a fragile being who is in desperate need of protection, and to start seeing yourself as the powerful creator that you truly are. You are a fragment of God, a spark of the divine, a fragment of that ultimate source energy is what you are housed in a human form. Nothing in this entire universe holds more power than the light that burns within you. The only way your energy can be depleted is if you, on some level, allow it to happen, by letting your boundaries become weak and easily crossed, by indulging in negative low-vibration thoughts and words, by allowing fear and guilt to disrupt the harmony of your heart. You're essentially giving your power away. But the very instant you withdraw that consent, you become unassailable, truly invincible. As we bring this message to an end, I want you to truly internalize these words, to let the truth of them resonate deep within your being. This knowledge didn't reach you by chance. Your soul orchestrated this divine meeting long before you were even born into this life. This is your wake-up call. The era of the drained, powerless lightworker is coming to an end. A new age is beginning. An age that demands that those chosen rise to their full potential, radiating energy with strong, unyielding boundaries and hearts burning with the transformative fire of divine alchemy. Your purpose is far too important to be disrupted by the insignificant psychic attacks of broken individuals. The world doesn't need another martyr. It needs living masters. It needs you fully energized, completely sovereign, and shining your unique light with unapologetic brilliance. This is your moment. Embrace your power. Take back your energy. Fulfill your destiny. The universe awaits. All of creation is cheering you on. You are loved, you are guided, and you are infinitely powerful. This is the final and most important declaration I will ask of you. It is the culmination of everything we have explored together. It is your vow to your soul and your agreement with the cosmos. Go to the comments one last time and type with every fiber of your being, I am sovereign, I am light. Let these words be the seal upon this sacred teaching. Let them be the frequency you carry out into the world. Let them be the truth that guides your every thought, word, and action from this moment forward. Type, I am sovereign, I am light, and feel the reality of that statement lock into place within every cell of your body. Know it, be it, live it, and so it is.